What is it that attracts people to motorcycles? Perhaps it's the influence of a family member. Maybe it's part of your daily commute, or for some it's a passion for racing. For me, it came down to just one bike. Try and remember the bike that started it for you in the first place. Now sit back and imagine creating your perfect garage around that bike. And for me, as a lifelong Ducati enthusiast and fan of anything Italian with wheels, I'm thinking a Desmos DCRR, or the iconic 916 Senna, or even a foggy SPS. There can't be too many of those around. But why stop there? Maybe you need something more practical with four wheels to do your shopping. How about a Vanquish, a Ferrari, an E-Type, an Oldsmobile? I expect that garage would need to be somewhere secure, like a ex-prison. It would need to be hidden away in a place only you knew existed, but with easy access to picturesque roads for you to enjoy your toys on. Unfortunately, most of us will never realise the dream, but that doesn't matter, because here in Oakham, Leicestershire, I've found my perfect garage, and it's called Bikeiconics.
Well, firstly, welcome to Bikeiconics. A little bit of a different theme on a car dealership and a bike dealership. We try and specialise in collecting for our clients some of the rarest and most unique examples of motorbikes and cars from a whole host of manufacturers, and really the best examples of what we can source.
Sure. What sort of things can people expect to see when they come down?
Limited production runs of motorcycles from brands such as Ducati, MV Agusta, obviously the Japanese brands as well that are equally as desirable, Honda, whoever else that fits that bill. Something that collectors would probably think, crikey, how did you find that? I've got to have it. Very kind of lucky to own a 2002 748R, probably the most collectible version of the bike. One owner from new, 4,000 kilometres. Really is a heartstring bike for me. Just the pinnacle of design, the pinnacle of everything that you would need a bike to be. That's right, new generation, I think kind of the big brother to what this is, so old and new. I think that probably represents for me the best combination of handling and power in a manageable size, probably the most relevant kind of sports bike there is.
So I've been waiting 25 years, and needless to say, I'm a little bit nervous and excited about riding this bike. They say you should never meet your heroes, but I'm hoping she's not going to let me down. And what I'm really trying to answer is, do you need 200 horsepower, full colour digital dash, downloadable telemetry, and anti-skid and anti-wheelie and all of that stuff? Or have manufacturers got so sort of tied up now in the horsepower race for racing that they've really kind of not catered for the road rider? And have we as riders actually forgotten what it's like to be completely comfortable and familiar with our own bikes that don't have any of that technology? Well, I think it's just about time we found out. She is Ducati's 748R, super rare and becoming quite collectible. So what do you get for your money with a 748R that you don't get with a regular 748? So you get twin spark injection, just over 100 horsepower. This particular bike features an upgraded seat unit, so you get the single seat unit, loads and loads of carbon, Ollie suspension, Brembo brakes, the works. What really surprised me about this bike, jumping off of a more modern V4, was that nothing is superfluous to requirements. Okay, so this switch here, That just turns the lights on. Simple. This switch here, that just starts the bike, and that's the throttle and these are the brakes, and that's fantastic. I don't need any more than that. I don't need a full colour digital dash calculating every microscopic change in G-forces as I go around corners. And that's what I really like about this. The throttle is actually connected mechanically to something inside the engine, and it tells it to give it more power, and that's good. My bike, you twist the throttle and it tells an electronic servo that tells a computer, that tells a calculator, that tells the engine what to do. And I don't know whether I trust that or not. I like the charm of the mechanical connection between you and the bike. I like the feeling that you get when you pull the throttle back and you know that that is actually doing something on the bike, and that's consistent. Every time you ride, it's going to be exactly the same. You know, if I switch the maps on my own Panigale, the bike feels completely different. You know, on the S models, you can even program the suspension electronically, meaning every time you ride the bike, it feels different. How can you ever really get to know and understand your bike and fully appreciate what it can do when it's different every time you ride it? Have manufacturers got so caught up in bolting on the technology from you know, radical racing bikes onto road bikes? Has that deviated our attention away from, you know, actually being able to ride a bike properly on the road?
Of course, it's all too easy to romanticise about the golden era of superbikes, but as I climb onto Ducati's Panigale V2, I'm reminded that the technology is there for a reason. This new technology allows people to extract the full amount of horsepower out of a motorcycle in a way that doesn't intimidate.
Now, I'll hand it to Ducati. This bike has all the bragging rights when you go down to the bike meet. You know, full colour digital dash, switchable power modes, all the tech that you could possibly want. But do you really need it? And that's really what I want to find out today. But when you compare the two, it's great to see Ducati have gone back to the design heritage that they had back in the early days. Those signature twin headlights, single-sided swinging arm. This particular bike, now being Euro 5 compliant, has got an underbelly exhaust on it, which is slightly different than the twin Termagoni pipes that you would normally see, but I think you have to admit the back end of this bike looks absolutely beautiful. Slightly different in terms of riding position. You seem to sit a lot higher on this bike, and the distance between the tank and the seat is quite a bit further, whereas you seem to sit in the 748, whereas you seem to sit on the V2. One epic couple of days that I've had riding these two bikes, and in a lot of ways they couldn't be more different, but also they're exactly the same, and that doesn't make any sense. So let me explain. If you're a rider's rider, you're a purist, yeah? You want to own a bike for the duration, you're not changing every year, you're fastidious in the way that you maintain your bikes, this is the bike for you. Everything is connected to something mechanically. You can feel every movement, the bike's always giving you feedback, and what it lacks in power, it makes up for in handling. Even with just over 100 horsepower, you're definitely going to be hustling some of the guys in a fast group on track days, should you wish. And what better bragging rights than something that is becoming super, super rare. Having said that, this bike just makes everything easy. And you can feel the Italian pedigree that's running right across the range for 20 years. You can feel it's still a Ducati. However, if you're transitioning from a Japanese bike or something like that, this is the bike for you. It will start every time you push the button, and everything is connected electronically, so everything is very easy. The upward and downward quick shifter makes finding gears really, really sublime. The electronic throttle control is absolutely fantastic, and the handling of this bike is brilliant. The same as the 748. It doesn't like being upright, it just wants to be on its side all the time.
I'm still asking myself the same question. Does this extra technology just numb some of the riding experience? Does it prevent people from developing some of the skills like riding in the wet without ABS that you would have had otherwise? Picking between these two motorcycles is almost impossible for me. It's just like trying to choose which one of your children you prefer. I do know one thing for sure though. It was definitely worth the 25-year wait. And you should always, always meet your heroes. Thanks for watching.